Hello everyone, this session is to inform you of the upcoming improvements to our hard goods process. We'll explain the purpose for the change and then take you on a tour through this process in a store's back room. Hard goods is a big part of our sales, but with many inconsistencies. We worked closely with associates to observe the way work was being done and measure the time it took for product to move through the back room. Over the course of 4 months, we experimented trying numerous ways at our Monroe store, which normally has over 200 donors every day. We then made sure it translated well in a couple of other stores and refined our rollout method to ensure good communication and preparation of store teams. We're now rolling it across to all stores. So the natural questions are, what problem are we trying to solve, and why are we bothering to make the change? You can recall the phrase, trunk to floor in 24. This introduced our aim to get donations from the donor to the sales floor within 24 hours without any going into storage. Having effective production directly impacts the store's sales. As the hard goods process was evaluated, it became clear that our current setup is not always conducive to getting items to the floor quickly. Product accumulates in our large buckhorn collapsible bins. Some categories, such as shoes or purses, wait to be priced until a specialist is present. Small items sift to the bottom and are often neglected or end up broken or separated from their sets. We get behind and often stack buckhorns. We also accumulate product in stacks of totes. Once we finally do price the product, filling a baker's rack can take an hour to price or longer, often with many interruptions. After they're filled, since these are too large to pull down a sales floor aisle while shoppers are present, associates need to make many trips with handfuls to stock the store shelves. So thinking of each of these previous examples, the buckhorns, the stacks of totes, and the baker's racks, what do they all have in common? What they have in common is that they're all batches of products. The problem with batches is that everything has to wait for the batch to be finished and move along before the next items can be taken care of. Batches are like elephants. They are big, slow, and stagnant. So what is our solution? If big is slow, then small is quick. The primary change in our new backroom layout is that we are moving away from large batches of product. We get away from large batches by using smaller containers to process our product through the store. Smaller containers allow us to move product more continuously through every step of the process. Like a road runner, continuous flow is small, fast, and moving. In our improved hard goods process, the majority of product now is sorted and priced into individual tote dollies. A furniture dolly is used as a base for easy maneuverability. A first tote, which remains empty, and a second empty tote are used to bring the top tote to a convenient height for sorted and priced hard goods. With these smaller containers, we're not waiting for items to accumulate before we start pricing them, nor are we waiting for a baker's rack to fill up to bring it out to the sales floor to put it away. Product moves faster. At any given point, we typically only have a handful of totes waiting to be priced or to be put out onto the sales floor. No more large containers or stacks slowing things down. Associates have fewer steps in every roll. This change is safer, as we're not having to reach into buckhorns to grab items. We also don't have to bend down to totes or lift or drag them. We're finding less defects due to breakage from items being piled on top of one another or shuffled around, and less lost product due to separated sets or component parts. In the new process, we still need to collect, sort, price, and merchandise product, and a single person may serve multiple roles. The roles haven't changed, however they have been clarified for the continuous flow model. Work instruction sheets for each role are posted. Each of the steps has a description, key points, reason why it's performed this way, as well as a helpful image. This process builds on the 5S improvements that we've undertaken, such as labeling supply tables. Signs are posted on the walls, and tape on the floor identifies proper locations for containers and equipment. Since we've better defined the standardized work for hard goods, we have confidence that the process can be controlled, and it is a fair expectation that the taped areas be followed. Here's an overview of the continuous flow model for the hard goods area in our new Milford store. We'll describe what happens in each of the 4 different areas, where we collect donations, sort product to quality into the tote dollies, price all items, and run them to the sales floor in the tote dollies. The material flow is as follows. Large items such as furniture or large wall art which don't fit into the bishop cart are carried in. The rest of the items are brought with the cart to the sorting area. Raw textiles and linens are removed from their bags. Trash containers are nearby, as well as salvage bins. The quality product is put into the tote dollies according to their category on the sales floor, and these go through each lane when they are then priced and moved along for them to be run to the sales floor. Now let's take a few minutes to tour each of the 4 roles. We'll start with a video of the donation attendance area.
All right, so first up is donation attendant. We're going to head out to the vestibule here. You'll realize that not everybody has a vestibule, but a lot of the same principles apply. So out here, right off the bat, you can really see just more of 5S. We've got tape down on the floor, and we'll kind of talk about each of these. But if we look around at the walls here, we could see signage. So we have a sign for our cart ready for donations. We have our work instruction sheets posted on the wall. Every role here is listed, or every step in the role is listed here. And now let's just take a look while we're on this side at our donation table. So we got everything that we need on the top with labels. Down below, we have all items that are needed with labels. Our cart here, so our donation cart, we have our spring-loaded insert inside. We've got the yellow tape around it, so we know this is where this cart goes in the vestibule. Coming over to the other side, our Z-rack for items on hangers. And we could see we have that outlined, so we know exactly where it goes. As we come inside, so we're usually bringing our bishop cart right inside, and it's going to come into a couple of different places. So we've got a staging area here on this side. We've got room for 2 carts. We also have a staging area here for the bishop cart. Most items that are coming in a bishop cart and going into these spaces. Also, too, there might be occasions where you're hand carrying an item, or it's an item that's like a medium wear or non-freestanding. And right behind me, we have this buckhorn. One side is removed, and we're putting our medium wares and non-freestanding items inside of this buckhorn. And we're going to move over here to our furniture staging area. So yellow tape. Like I said, we'll see that throughout the whole backroom process, but our furniture is coming right into this area, and I want to pay attention here to this furniture processing table. So all the tools that we need for processing furniture are located here on this table. Again, we've got our labels. We know exactly what we need. This table has a top and bottom shelf with all the tools that you really need to get your furniture processed. I'm going to back up here also to my excessive furniture or my overflow furniture area. And then right next to that, you can see I have my hand trucks and my flatbed. Again, not every location is going to have the same equipment, but your equipment will have a space designated with some signage, and we could see that here behind me.
Let's look at the area where the sorter works.
Going to pull this cart of donations right into the sorting lane. So I'm coming down here. I want it to be centrally located. So kind of like here, so I could get at either side here, and I can get at all lanes, but I could still fit around. So something here with the categories, this store is equipped with 6 different lanes, and not every store is going to have 6 lanes. It just kind of depends on your backroom size and your sales floor layout. But let me kind of walk you through this. So we have our trash. Obviously, anything that's trash is going right into that container. The first lane that I have here is wares. So as I'm putting my good quality wares forward and pushing this along, that's kind of how all these lanes are equipped, is to fill the tote dolly and push it forward. Next here, we've got our electrical metal category, followed by wood and wicker. And here, this central lane, you can see I've got these totes orientated a different way, and this is for my empty tote dollies. So the pricer is sending these back this way, so I have them to put back into my sorting lane. So continuing on, wares, we have doubled up wares in this location based on the volume that's coming through. We need 2 wares lanes, followed by shoes and purses, and lastly, books and media. So again, 6 lanes here, and I want to emphasize only quality product is getting pushed forward, and that's why we'll walk through the salvage now, but the salvage is really close to where the sorting is happening. So down on that end, I've got my shoe salvage, book, Gaylord salvage, purse salvage, and you know what, now that we can get this right in the picture, good, this is my sorting table. So every tool that I need for sorting is located right on this table. I got my signs for the shoe salvage bin, my rubber bands, my snippers for electrical metal, masking tape to label the bins, razor blade, and a black marker. So all the tools I need for sorting are just located right on this table. Textiles behind me in the buckhorn, followed by linens there next to the textiles. We have an extra trash bin here. Realize that as we're getting the textiles and linens, oftentimes they come in plastic bags, so we want to have a spot to get rid of that trash. Metal salvage, cardboard salvage. And then here we could see this handy cart here. We even have a space to sort our e-commerce into right away and our jewelry into. So we've got our labels there, and these are the totes used to collect those donations.
Now we'll view the pricer roll.
All right, so now moving on to pricing. So here we're set up with 2 stations for pricing. And just to take a quick look on this side, we do have a table set up with all the supplies the pricer would need. I've got my empty tote dolly ready to price into, but I'm going to move back into this side to actually show you how the pricing happens, just because this side is the side that has the lane with the most full totes. So we can see here my shoe and purse lane has a couple of totes full, so this is where I'm going to start. So I'd pull this down here, and the items that I'm pricing are coming right from this full tote into the empty tote. Something to mention here with this tote dolly is only this top tote is getting filled. Likewise, as you're sorting, only the top tote is getting items put into it. These bottom totes are really just for support so that we have the tote at a good height as we're putting into and taking out of. So I'm pricing from here to here. My tools are all here behind me on the table, anything that I would need. Once I am full, this is full, and I'm pushing it over to get priced, I'm going to take my empty and pull it out here. But I do want to take a second and just kind of look behind me at their case and lookup tote. So case tote is up top, lookup tote is at the bottom. So as I'm looking stuff up, I'm moving it from the top, from the bottom into the top tote, and now it's all good and ready to go out to the floor.
And the 4th roll, the runner.
So now we're ready to run the merchandise to the floor and talk about the runner roll. So I wanted to point out here on the wall, we've got our work instruction sheet. So it's got all the steps in the process of running. So if we ever need to refer to it, we have it here posted on the wall. Something new with this runner roll is that as the runner, I'm going to take my tote dolly, my full tote dolly that's ready to go out to the floor, and I'm actually going to be the person who's entering it into the production tracking system. So not the pricer, it's the runner that's entering it. So I'm going to come over, I'm going to start the tote and make sure when I get it put away and come to the back, I'm going to stop the tote and enter the category that I just got put away to the floor. All right, so this tote dolly is set up so I could bring it right up to the shelf where the items are going, and I could unload it. So I'm pulling it right up here, reaching in, and getting my items put away. Something also too really cool about the tote dolly and the way that we set up the categories in the back room is that the categories are usually right within one area here. So for example, wares, well, whatever I put in here is going to go on this side of the shelf or the other side. So where I'm going with this is usually into one space. So I can unload my cart here. Also, too, if I notice something that maybe is chipped or broken, I could pull it off, put it in my tote dolly, and bring it to the back room with me when I go to drop this off in the staging area.
Since roles are more clearly defined, it's easier to tell where things are backing up. This process is more efficient and fast, but does require the team to be in sync with each other. One key is that pricing needs to keep going constantly. To help ensure a successful implementation in your store, there are several things you can do. Take initiative to cross-train in the various hard goods areas. It's especially important to know proper quality and pricing of items in all departments. Continue to 5S your back room, sorting, setting, and shining. Evaluate the planned layout map to identify any potential omissions or errors, and identify items which need to be repaired, removed, or ordered to be ready for the new process. Hopefully this introductory lesson has given you a good understanding of the new process. We look forward to making this change with you.